Morning. Good morning. Aloha. What's up, Chef? Nicholas? Did you swing shares, Gareth? Nice. Yeah, that's the nice thing about swinging shares, right? You can close them out in the pre-market. Morning's good. Morning's good. I'm feeling good. We got the meta swings in action. Should be a good day. Definitely some opportunity today, I think. Finally got a nice move to the downside. Got that nice slip yesterday. So hopefully some action. Thanks, Theta. I'm going to try to hit 225 here soon. I was doing 225 in college. I weigh like 150 or 160, 155. Anywhere between 150 and 160 is usually where I'm at. So in college, I was doing 225. That's all we did in college. We just worked out in college. That's all we did. That's all there was to do. So I'm trying to get back. Coffee today. No Celsius today. Iced coffee. All right. So, morning again. Yesterday, you guys saw we got through that 4090 level on the ES. This was very big. This is sort of what we were all watching for, to see if we could break that 4090 level. If we broke that 4090 level, right, we assumed there would be continuation, and that's definitely what we're seeing. So we got that 4090 break. We got a rejection of it in the pre-market. Seeing that continuation now, and seeing that downside on the NASDAQ as well. But there's definitely some levels, right? It's too easy to come into today and think that we're just going to go straight down. That's too easy, I think. I think it's a little bit, amateur to think that we could just buy puts at open and think that this thing's just going to drop all day. So I'm going to be cautious of that, right? We're not going to break our strategy. We're not going to break our system just because, we're going to get biased and think that this thing's just going to drop all day. So there's definitely some levels below to be watching out for still, right? There's 40.50 on the ES. There's this 12.3 on the NASDAQ. So I'm not thinking about taking longs, but what I am being cautious of where is the demand below and where could there potentially be a short-term bounce that I don't really want to be stuck in, especially on 0 DTE puts, right? If you take 0 DTE puts at a potential short-term demand, they're going to fake you out of that move, right? They're going to fake you out of that position. You're not going to hold through drawdown on 0 DTE. You'll be down 50% before you know it, all right? So we still got to be strategic today, right? We still got to be careful. There's still some levels to pay attention to, and that's why we're here, right? Let's prepare for that. Let's get an idea of the levels to watch. and let's make a plan for today. So, yeah, Google's been just destructive lately. Crazy. So today, economic earnings calendar, nothing. We have inflation expectations. So I'll pull that up real quick for the earnings or for economic. We have that intraday today. So here's today, 10 a.m. We have consumer sentiment, inflation expectations. So we'll keep an eye on that at 10 a.m. today to see if there's any movement off that. Really nothing in the pre-market, so we don't need to worry about pre-market movement. But 10 a.m. today, just watch out at 10, all right? This definitely could do something to the market. And, if you're in, again, guys, you got to be very careful, especially if you're trading that 0 DTE, right? Any type of movement off this can drastically affect 0 day to expiration contracts. So you have to be aware of this. 2 o'clock, federal budget balance, and then Fed president speaking at 12:30 and 4. So nothing crazy, but 10 a.m., just watch out for that 10 a.m. Yesterday, we had earnings on, I didn't even look at earnings yesterday. I just checked out after close. What the hell did we have earnings on? PayPal, Lyft, Cloudflare, Expedia, nothing crazy. What did PayPal do? I didn't even look. PayPal did absolutely nothing. Okay. Lyft went down, I believe. Yeah, Lyft got crushed. Jesus. Yeah, Lyft got hit. So Lyft it looks like, and Uber's getting a little bit of a move off that. So that's really nothing really on the earnings side. Nothing I'm really interested in here. But yeah, Lyft got hit. That's for sure. All right. So we're going to look at Tesla 198 today. I think this is a key level to watch on Tesla. I would be careful shorting Tesla until it breaks 198. I know the market looks weak, but I think you have to watch this level still. Watch 198 today. We'll talk about that. Nvidia 217, going to watch this level. Shop's under 50. I'm going to see if there's any opportunity on Shop under 50. Meta, you guys know if you're in the chat or if you're, I'm sure that I saw so many people taking this play. Even on like Instagram and Twitter, everyone's like Meta gap fill. That sort of scares me when everyone's looking at the same thing. So we got the Meta downside this morning. I'm probably going to be taking some profits pretty close to open, just in case there's some kind of move today to the upside, a little sympathy bounce. I'm going to be careful. I don't really I'm getting a little bit weirded out by how many people are watching Meta gap fill. I mean, there is every single person that I follow on Twitter talking about it. So that's a little nerve-wracking, right? I want to be the only one in a play. I don't want anyone else to see it. I want to be the only one taking advantage of it. Because if everyone's looking at the same thing, it's probably a reason for the opposite to happen. So I don't know if that's actually true. That's just me being superstitious. But Meta gap fill, definitely something to watch for. Google downside has been crazy. We'll take a look at Google. That thing's been getting crushed. Apple under 152, and then the XLE energy sector gapped up this morning, actually. Oil futures are up nicely, so keep an eye on this XLE again today. All right. Let's get started. So the ES, if we go to the hourly chart, right, this 4090 level was very important for the S&P 500. This was everything we were watching, right? We were watching to see, does the ES hold above? Yes, I took AbbVie profits pretty much. I actually almost top ticked AbbVie profits. I took AbbVie profits at right here. I took them off at 1028. 1028 was when I took my AbbVie swing off. 1028. Yeah, holy shit, I almost top ticked it. Where's 1028? 1028 was right here on AbbVie yesterday. So I took my profits off right here on AbbVie. This was the rest of the day. So that was a pretty nice time to take them. All right. So back to the ES. That 4090 level was very crucial. We go to the hourly chart here. We can see how important that 4090 was. You guys can see we had that previous high right here, and we had that previous double top right here. So if we come back to 4090, right, and we hold it, that's where you would look for an entry long. But yesterday we did not hold it. We got to 4090, we slipped underneath it, and I'll go to the shorter term time frames, we got under 40.90 and we held below it, right? You can see here in the pre-market, look at this little rejection that came in right at 40.90. So that's definitely bearish, right? No question about that. You can see break of 40.90, retest of 40.90. We turn this previous rejection into a rejection again. That's as textbook as it gets. So 40.90, that is your level. I would not be very bullish unless you are back above 40.90 at the very least, right? So you can see right here, 40.90, we got below it. We sort of got above it right as close, but we clearly are, that was clearly just a little bit of a sympathy bounce, nothing real, a little dead cat. Dead cat bounced back above 40.90, and then look at the rejections that came in. Sort of up here around 4100 as well, right? So 40.90, 4100, this whole area turning back into a rejection, and you can see the downside we're having this morning in the pre-market. Now, however, right, we have to be a little bit cautious on this move. We can't just be, all in on puts at open. That is a recipe for disaster, and here's why. Because I think that this 40.50 level, at least this area, maybe even like this 40.60, this 40.60, 40.50 area, I still believe that could hold up the market. Not like, nothing like, oh, we're going to go back to these highs, but, a move like this will mess you up, right, on 0 DTE puts. Even if we get this move, right, today, maybe back into 40.90, you have to be cautious here. So you have previous highs at 40.50, you have previous highs at 40.50, you have support at 40.50, you have support at 40.50, and then you have a little bit of a FOMC wick bounce off 40.50, right? If we go to Wednesday, if we go back to Wednesday, I'm going to get the 5 minutes, and I'm going to get more time. Let's get 15 days. If we go back to Wednesday, which is right here, right? This is the FOMC move right here. And you can see those wicks, those buyers that stepped up at 40.50 on the day of FOMC. So we are, we're not that far off 40.50. And I'm not going to be someone that's going to buy puts into this level. That does not sound like a good idea to me. So if you swung some puts, I think you're in the best case scenario because you can take advantage of this downside in the pre-market. Very similar to if you swung calls from yesterday or Wednesday into Thursday because you were able to take profits on those calls from the overnight move. I think that is, something that I would only be very comfortable right now on the downside if I swung put options because I know I got the downside in the pre-market, a lot of gap downs on some individual stocks. I can take some profits on that. But in the morning here for intraday trades, I'm a little bit cautious still here at 40.50. You can see a little bit of buying stepping up as we approach that area, 40.60, 40.50. It's still a questionable area and you can't get overly bearish here. I don't think you can get overly bearish here. If I go to the 4-hour chart, you can also see that this 40.50 level comes in back here. It's not just in the short term, right? You have previous highs here, you have previous highs here, you have previous consolidation here, and you have all this previous rejections here at 40.50. So 40.50, 40.50, and all this 40.50, that there's definitely a possibility that the market does something like this, right? Maybe it bounces off 40.50 back into the 40.90, and then maybe you get the continuation move. So you got to be on your A game today, right? We can't just think that we're going to trade downside excuse me, just because the market slipped under 40.90 and we're down in the pre-market. So I would watch 40.50 today. I'd be careful of that potential short-term demand. If 40.50 breaks today, then I think you got yourself some more downside, right? If that happens today, then I think you can get a little bit more aggressive if we do break that 40.50. Yeah, it also lines up with that uptrend a little bit, right? A little bit. I think your ideal short entry today, I think what you look for today, if you really want to get an ideal short entry, is probably going to be either a retest of this 40.90, 40. I would say I would even watch these previous lows right here. I'm actually going to make this a bigger red zone here. 1 second. Let me go to the 4-hour. Okay. I would, ideal short entry today would probably be A retest of this 4090, 4100 area. This right here, right? This is probably your ideal short entry. If you can get a little fake move like this, back into these previous lows, right? Back into this previous high here, back into this double bottom low here. If you can get a little bit of a bull trap into 4090, 4100, 4106, if you can get a bull trap into this zone today, that's where you get your best short entry, in my opinion, right? I would be cautious shorting, after a move lower in the pre-market. I would want to see this, right? If I could see this, then maybe I'd look for that aggressive short. So that's my game plan today. Let me see if I can grab a little bull trap, take advantage of the bull trap. Don't get caught in a bull trap. There's absolutely no reason to be going long here in a bull trap into previous lows. That is totally ridiculous. To be trying to trade upside back into these previous lows. Yes, there might be money to be made. Of course, there will be if it does go up. But that is not I don't think that's the real move, right? That is you just taking a little advantage of maybe a short-term bull trap move. I would not get too aggressive into that type of move. I would be more interested in seeing, can we get the fake move to the upside? Can we reject the previous lows? Can I set up a real trade here and then see if I can get that slide? So that's what I'm going to look for today. I'm going to look for that push back into this 4090, 4100 area, or just a break below 4050, either one. So that's how I'm going to look at this today. I am not going to short into this low. You can clearly see all the demand that has stepped up at this low, right? This 4050 low is not something that I would really get too aggressive with. Yeah, it might be easier just to wait. It might be easier for this, break and retest the 40-50 gold. I agree. I mean, that would definitely be the more slippery move. I would agree with that, right? If you get this move, I think this is going to get slippery under here. I agree. But waiting until that actually happens, right? Not going short before this, right? It's a little bit questionable. If you're shorting here into 40-50, you're exposing yourself to maybe some type of a demand hold in the short term. So just be careful of that. All right, NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is part of the reason why I think you could see a little bit of a hold here this morning. And this is why right here. This is 12.3 on the NASDAQ. And this is, if I go to the 4-hour chart, right, this 12.3 level, I know we broke some key levels yesterday, but this 12.3 level is not something to be, to look past, right? You have 12.3 previous high here. You have 12.3 previous high here. I still want to be cautious at this 12.3. So you can see previous high here at 12.3, previous high here at 12.3, and you can see, look at what the NASDAQ's doing at 12.3 this morning. So you can see we came back down right into that 12.3 area. We're starting to find a little bit of a bounce off of it. That's a level that I want to be cautious of here. So you can see we have that previous 12.3 high that we retested this morning, and we're finding a little bit of finding some buyers off of. So for me, again, similar concept here. Where's my ideal short entry? Ideal short entry is retest of this 12.5 low, and then see if the fade can start here. That would be, that's pretty textbook, right? If you can get a little bull trap in the 12.5 previous lows, start the fade back at 12.5. That would be nice, right? I'd like that if I saw that set up. Or, right, if you do lose this 12.3, then I think you're coming down to the 12.120. That's the 20 SMA on the NASDAQ. So if I go to the 20 on the NQ, you can see the 20 SMA on the daily is sitting right here at 12.120. That would be my ultimate, price target here on the NASDAQ for the downside. Would be back at this retest of these previous highs. Right, you can see right here, previous high, previous high, previous high right here, once again right here, and then some of this consolidation here. I think you're ultimately going to get that 12.120 retest back at this previous triple top, but we can't ignore 12.3, right? We can't ignore 12.3 today. 12.3 could put in a little bit of a fight, and if you get inputs too early at 12.3, right, you're going to regret it. So just be careful of that 12.3 today. That's the first NQ level I'd watch right here. If you can break that area, then I think you come to 12.120. if you can get a little bit of a dead cat bounce, little bear or bull trap here, that would probably be your best risk reward. If you can get a little bull trap, maybe back into like the previous, the lows of yesterday, which is around 12,400, or the 12,500 previous lows here. All right. That's what I'm watching on the NASDAQ. On the Dow, did it finally make some type of a move? Sort of, not really. The Dow still pretty much just locked in this channel. Maybe moving back to these previous highs here, like around this 33,600. So Dow still not something I'm very interested in looking at. Just still stuck. Russell, congratulations to anyone that shorted the Russell. I shorted the Russell pretty much at these highs. I took a very nice trade in my IRA and in some, in my Interactive Brokers account. I didn't hold out for this move. I was a little concerned of this 12 on the IWM, that 194 level holding. But damn, IWM, the Russell did exactly what we anticipated, right? It moved right back down to the retest. Look at that. So, right? Everyone's bearish, right? Not everyone, but the feeling this morning is, okay, yeah, this is going to start to unravel, and I agree with that. It's definitely an unraveling move yesterday. However, right, we still need to trust these levels. You have a previous high here, and you are coming back down into that area. So just be cautious of that, right? On the Russell, you have this previous double top. Yesterday was definitely an unraveling move. Makes you feel a little bit like, okay, this might start to turn over. But we can't ignore this little previous retest on the Russell. 190, 189 on the IWM. On the Russell, it's back here, right? Back at these previous highs. So it's right in this zone right here. All right, you can see previous high, previous triple top, and we're right back at it. So could there be a little bit of a short-term demand bounce off this? Yes, there could be, right? And we have to be aware of that. All right, so that's the futures. 12.3 on the NASDAQ. That's what I would watch on the downside. And then on the ES, I'd watch this 40.50. And, you can see as of right now, it looks like the 20 SMA is putting in a little bit of work as well. You can see right here, 20 SMA at 40.60, 40.50. That's what I would be watching, all right? All right, so that's the futures. Let's go Tesla. So I do not want to be short Tesla until we break 198, right? I don't think there is a reason to short Tesla until you're under 198. This is a very big previous high, right? Previous highs, previous highs, previous highs. This is where the support stepped in on Wednesday. This is where I took my swing trade on Tesla. You can watch that in my video from yesterday. You might get that move. There might be a nice move into that 198, maybe a little bear flag setting up here. But I would only want to be short if I see this, right? Clear 198 flush, turn this back into a rejection, and then I can set up my shorts maybe back into that 180. But I do not want to be short here before 198 breaks. So let's look out for that 198 today. That is also a previous 4-hour double top. You guys can see right here. This is a previous 4-hour double top right here. 198, 198, 4-hour double top, which you are still trading above. So, right, I can't break my break and retest rules just because the market is, moved lower yesterday. I have to still be aware that this could be still bullish, right, above 198. We saw Tesla do its own thing yesterday for majority of the day. So getting in front of Tesla too early is something I would advise against. On the short side, I would really wait for things to unravel, right? Really wait for Tesla to really show you that things are going to get weak. And for me, that would be a break under 198, a rejection of 198, and then maybe, right? Then we can look for that 180 flush. But until then, I would be cautious, right? That 198 level could still hold up. All right, Nvidia. Nvidia is similar to Tesla in the sense that it's been a beast of a stock and a little bit difficult to short. It is a nice gap down this morning, but I'm a little bit cautious shorting at this 215, 216 area. This 215, 217 zone right here, this previous high here, previous high here. Previous double top right here, right? Look at all these tops that stepped in around this 215, 217 area. You moved right back down into that this morning, and you are starting to consolidate slightly at that level. So for me to go short Nvidia today, I would like to see these previous highs right here. The high of this candle is 215.70, 250. Oh my God, these are the exact same highs. That's crazy. 215.70 on the dot, 215.70 on the dot. So I would like to see Nvidia back under 215.70, turn these previous highs into a rejection again, and then I can look for that short into that 206 level, right? But until that happens, we have to respect these previous highs. We have to respect that this could put in a short-term bounce, right? We do not want to be caught in a little short-term bounce early morning, stop out of our put options because we're nervous, and then see this happen, right? We do not. That is what you want to avoid in trading. You do not want to get in puts at open because you don't have a plan. Have the market move up, stop out of your puts for a 60% loss, and then later today, right, you see the market fold over again, and then you're looking at it and you're very upset, and then you ruin your weekend. So I would be careful of this previous high, right? I would wait to see if a demand bounce does step in. It's very possible, right? You can see the previous high here. I would look to see if a demand bounce does step in, and I would probably look to see it should reject around this 221, 222 area, right up in here. 221, 222 is where I look for that little dead cat bounce, right? Retested the previous lows. If you set up a short here, right, then you know where your stop is over 222, and then you can look for that fade maybe back even through this low, right? That's how you set up a trade there. You look to short on that previous low retest. You do not look to short because the market's down in the pre-market, because Nvidia is down in the pre-market. I think Nvidia is going to, 200. Nvidia is bearish. Nvidia should move lower, right? Those are not reasons to go short. The reasons to go short is a little fake bounce off the demand, back into the previous lows, retest, set up your trade entry, have your stops, right? That's how you set up a trade. So that's what I'd be looking for today. A little dead cat bounce into the 222. Maybe you can grab a little rejection up here. I would not be getting too aggressive short here around 215, 216 area. Remember, guys, I'm just setting up, what I would look for. This is how I would trade, right? So I could be still very wrong in this analysis, but that to me makes more sense, right? Wait for that dead cat bounce. Shopify. So Shop's under 50. That's a big break under 50. I would like to see if I can get a little retest rejection of 50 here. So can I get a move maybe back into yesterday's lows right around 49.50? If I can get something like that, then maybe I can get that retest rejection on Shopify today. I think Shop under 50 is pretty key. I think that's a very psychological level. And I think the fact that it broke it yesterday likely means that it's going to move back down into these lows, right? Back into this 46. So if I can see some type of a little fake bounce, little rejection, then I would look for that move back into this 46. I would look to see if Shop can reject 50 today. That's what I want to point out in this one. So Shop 50, see if it can reject that. All right, Meta. All right, so we all know there's the gap fill. I think everyone and their mom knows about this gap fill. If I go to the daily chart, you guys know, right? This is your gap on Meta from earnings, right? You can clearly see that we gapped up from 155 up to 180. Have a huge gap here on the daily chart, and maybe we look for that gap fill play. Right now I'm in Meta puts from yesterday into this morning because I'm looking for that gap fill to start. It did break under these previous lows of this candle, which was 180.16. So I'm assuming that this gap fill can start. So you can see right here, we're back into this gap. We are moving lower. We slipped through this yesterday. The only area that I'm a little concerned of that you could try to find support at is right here, right? I would be careful of the previous highs from this previous channel over here. This is anywhere between around 173 and maybe 172, but I would say you be safe and you say 173 is where things can maybe try to hold up here on Meta, right? Previous highs here, previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, and a previous high here. So multiple previous rejections at 173. If you trade back to that level, you would probably assume that, a little bit of demand can step up, right? So be careful there around that 173. Meta could still very easily trade back into the 180. Maybe you look to see if it rejects again. Obviously, depending on the market, but I would watch out for that 173. If I go to the volume profile, you will see that the volume picks up again there around that 173. If you go to the 4-hour chart. So right where that white line is, you can see that volume picks up again on that 4-hour. So be careful of that 173 area on Meta. If you are in Meta swings, look to see if it does hold that. I'm probably going to take majority of my Meta swings off early morning, maybe hold a few runners. Maybe I'll hold my next week's. But I have a few this week's that I'm, today expiration that I'm probably going to close pretty much near open as long as we stay, if we get a nice move. If we stay anywhere near, or if we stay below 180, I'd say, which I would hope we do. So, yeah, that's what I'd watch on Meta, right? Volume picks up again around that 173 area on the 4-hour. I would watch out for that. But it would be great to get, if we can get this whole gap fill, man, that would be huge. But that might take some patience. You're going to have to work through some of those areas. All right, Google. So I'm liking what Google's doing as we speak. If I go to the hourly chart, I'm looking to see if Google can, let me get a little bit more time here. 4-hour chart. Yeah. So Google's been a really bearish name the last few days, right? Look at these last 2 days on Google. Very, very aggressive to the downside. You have some demand that steps up around this 93, 91 area. So you have 93 previous highs and 91 previous lows. This little channel right here, which could step up. I'm looking to see if if Google rejects these previous lows right here. So if I go to the hourly chart, I would look to see, can we stay under these previous lows, right? Previous low, and then this little area that's rejected already this morning. That's what I would look for to see if we can stay below that 96. That's what I'm looking for today on Google. Can we turn these previous lows into a rejection? And if we can I trade this back into like the 93, 91 level? Little break and retest of these previous lows. I think that's looking like a pretty nice setup so far this morning. So I'm going to watch that, right? This little 96 area, you can see it's already rejected in the pre-market. If we can stay under 96, I'd look to trade this back into 93. If we get back above 96, Google could try to make back some of this downside. It's very possible. That's going to depend on the NASDAQ, whether that 12.3 holds, all right? What am I looking at next? Apple. So Apple had a pretty important breakdown yesterday as well. Here's Apple on the 30-minute. You can see we had these previous lows right around this 151 area, right? We had this previous high here. We had this previous low here. Previous lows here. Previous lows here, right? And we broke through it yesterday. Look at this, right? In the after hours, look at this slip under 151. So we slipped under that 151. Now we're trading here. I would like to see if I can get something like this today, right? That would be hot. I would love to see that. If we can get a move back into 151, little dead cat bounce, little bull trap here into 151, maybe we reject those previous lows, then look for that downside move. That would be something I'd be looking for today. I don't think Apple has much support here, right? If we look at this 4-hour chart, I don't think Apple has much support here until at least 146 and then down here around 143, because this area right here is just sort of earnings, up and down on earnings. So I don't think there's much support here until 146, 147, but obviously it's about how do you find your entry. For me, I would like to see a retest of the previous lows, right here, retest of the previous lows, these previous lows right here. If I can get a retest of those lows, I'll turn this red. If I can get a retest of those lows right here, see this turn into a rejection, previous lows into a rejection, then I would probably try to formulate an entry there, right? So that's what I'm looking at there on Apple. All right, last one I got for you today. I want to look at a few others, obviously, but I just wanted to point out this again. The XLE is still sort of holding up. You still got this hold on the XLE. So, yeah, that could be something to monitor today. Does the energy sector outperform? The oil futures are up 1.5%. XOM gapped up. CVX gapped up. And XLE gapped up as well. So keep an eye on that energy sector today. Just wanted to point that out. It's still holding that retest. It's up nicely this morning. Maybe energy outperforms today. Keep an eye on that. All right, let's go into the ticker form. If you guys could take a second, press the like button. I'm going to have to start doing a dance for you to get the likes in this stream. You guys want me to start dancing for you? Is that what it is? So Microsoft, Enphase, Disney. That's what we're going to look at. Microsoft, Enphase, Disney. All right. Microsoft. Yeah, I like Microsoft back under this 265 level, right? Look, it's trading back under that 265. I don't see much support on Microsoft until 255, right? You can see right here. 255, 255. There's really not much support until 255. So, yeah, I would look for that. But what am I looking for an entry? Same thing as everything else, right, guys? Retest of the previous, retest of the previous lows, retest of this high right here. If I can get a little retest on Microsoft this morning, back up into this 263, 264, start to see if that thing wants to fade, and then look to see if this wants to roll over back into that 255 again. But where Microsoft's trading right now, there's no support. This is just a little bit of a no man's land where Microsoft's trading right now. So I would think that Microsoft needs to come back into that 255, right? But it's about formulating an entry, right? We can't just buy puts, and if you buy puts at open, this thing pushes into 265. Most people on 0 DTE puts are going to get stopped out, right? So I would wait to see if there's a little demand bounce into that 265. If there is, look to fade it. Enphase, yeah, Enphase broke a huge level yesterday under that 220. So if I go to the 4-hour, you can see this here. So Enphase had some previous support here. Actually, it probably looks better on the 30-minute. Yeah, Enphase had some previous support here around that 220 level, 220, 221. It was support before earnings. What a crazy move on Enphase. Congratulations to you guys that caught this, because I did not expect this one bit. I'll be totally honest. I did not expect to see this on Enphase. 20% down after a huge upside move on earnings. So crazy move on Enphase. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Where's the next low come in here? So the next low looks like it's coming in around 200, really, like 201. So I would be careful, like chasing this to the downside. I'd probably want to see a little bit of a dead cat on this thing, maybe back into the 220s. But yeah, I'd watch this previous low. If Enphase really wants to die off, watch that previous low, 201. Because under that, you don't got much. I'm just happy that Enphase did exactly as we talked about, like back in the end of last year. You guys, if you guys come to the stream all the time, during this time I was just perplexed by why Enphase is still holding up. I tried to short it up here a few times. I finally got a nice short, back, I think it was like right in this general area. Didn't catch this whole thing, but I am very happy that, Enphase did exactly what we expected. This downside, this was ridiculous. I mean, Enphase was up. It looked like Upstart. It was just up and it was just up to the right for so long with the market moving lower. But yeah, finally something caught up to it. Disney. Yeah, I mean, Disney just wick rejected this level up here. Pretty nasty, actually. What's that daily chart looking like? Yeah, that's a nasty daily candle on Disney. Look at that daily level on. Look at that daily chart. Look at that daily candle on Disney. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, look at this. Previous highs here. Look at this daily candle on Disney. That's pretty nasty there. Right off these previous highs on the daily. That's pretty nasty. If we go to the 1 hour, let's go 4 hour. I think you're going to get a really, right here, 20 SMA, 107. That's what I would look to see if it loses that. 107, 107, 107, 20 SMA. You're probably going to need to lose that if you want to see more downside. All right. I'm not going to dance for you, but if you could press the like button, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. One day we will get to the 1,000 like mark. One day we'll make it happen. If you guys had a good week, press the like button. If you took meta puts, press the like button. If you took Tesla or SPY calls yesterday, press the like button. Or Wednesday into yesterday. Good week. Really nice, pretty better week on the swing trades for me than the day trades. So, yeah. I'll do, before we go, here you go. I'll do a little update on everything. So here were the, pull this up real quick. All right. So here's my E-Trade account. This is year to date, 87.93, and then if we change this to yesterday, this was the 2 trades that I took yesterday. So this was the 4,000. This was the SPY, the Tesla, and then back to year to date. So far a better year in my swing trades. Right, a better year on my swing trades. Some losses there, little SPX loss, Ulta loss. This is when I tried to short Ulta, didn't work because Ulta never goes down. Better year on the swing trades, 87.93, 8,700 on the swing trades. And then if I go to my year so far on the scalps, that's all in TradeZella. I'll go ahead and pop that up. Actually, you know what? It's probably about the same. Here's my year so far on the scalps. So, 13,000 on the scalps, 6% win rate, 308, 173, profit factor 2.7. So, yeah, there you go. Full transparency for you. Oh, yeah, you saw it. All right, guys. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Jay Price. No balls. Thanks, Jay Price. I will take your money without dancing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a great day, guys. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.